Hey everybody, Hunter Fisher, Trapper, Trader, Guide, Scout, and Interpreter, and just a country cook. Steve Hall here in Nashville, Tennessee, along with pretty Miss Sheila running that camera. Hi, Sheila.
Hi.
When we talked about making this recipe today, brought back a lot of memories of my mom because she made this all the time for us kids. And it's a recipe that you can use for breakfast or lunch or dinner because she made it all different times of the day. She'd get some of this dried beef in this little teeny jars like this, or chip beef they also call it. And she'd whip up kind of a roux and make a neat little gravy and put it over toast. And there's some other nicknames for it. We'll just call it SOS in case there's some young chefs out there watching. We don't need to go into that, but come on over and I'll show you how to make it. All right, we need to start out by making a roux. We even got a video on our channel on how to make a roux. Now, a roux is 50-50 oil and flour. In other words, 50% butter, 50% flour. You can use bacon grease, oil. There's all kinds of different roux out there, and the longer you cook it under real nice low heat, we want to get this down here pretty low heat. The longer you cook it, it turns into a blonde roux, and then a peanut butter colored roux, then even into it like a dark chocolate brown roux that they use for stuff like gumbos and whatever. But we're just going to use this white kind of colored roux here. Now we have 1 stick of butter and 1/2 cup of flour in there, which is the same thing. Each of them are 8 tablespoons. And we're going to mix this together, let the butter melt, let that flour incorporate, and we got to stir it constantly. Never quit stirring your roux. I mean, you can run to the kitchen and get a cup of coffee, but you better be back in a hurry. And we got this set way down on low heat here. You want to cook this flour for at least 2 minutes, I think, so you don't get that flour taste in your recipe. So we'll be back in a couple of minutes. All right, it's been a couple of minutes. We got a little color to it. I always taste it too. Oh, it tastes so good. Make sure it's not burnt. You got to stir it all the time on low heat. Now we're going to add some whole milk. Stir this in a little bit. And it's going to start thickening up here. Add just a little more heat now. There we go. Now see, as it starts thickening up, well, that's got some good color to it. That looks beautiful. I'm going to add some more milk. Probably going to end up with a good 1.5 to 2 cups of milk in there. Just keep adding it until it gets a real nice smooth texture to it. The consistency isn't too thick and it isn't too thin. It looks like something that you'd pour out on your toast. A little bit more maybe. And just keep adding milk until it reaches that perfect gravy look. And it doesn't get any thicker. It just kind of stops at one point. Now I'm going to turn my heat back down just a little bit. Remember, you got to do this at a low heat. Boy, that's looking really good. And now it's time. Maybe one more little splash in there. And turn that heat way down. Boy, that looks delicious. Now it's time for this stuff right here. Let's see if I can stir left-handed. This is dried beef by Armour. And you get this in the tuna fish aisle, believe it or not. Just go over by the tuna fish and look up on the top shelf and you'll see their little dried beef or chipped beef jars full of it. And I took one of them little jars and chopped it up into little teeny pieces. And now it's time to incorporate that in there. Hi, Ma. This looks just like yours. Unbelievable. Now, if you want a lighter color, don't cook it as long as I did. I like a little darker color to it. If you want a whiter, almost like a you know, biscuits and gravy, lighter colored biscuit color, you can do that. A little touch of salt, maybe a half a teaspoon. I don't want to say quite a bit of pepper because I don't want to scare anybody off, but I almost use about between a half and a whole teaspoon of black pepper. I like black pepper on mine. Then you pop some toast in the toaster, but don't butter it because there's plenty of butter in this stuff right here. You don't have to butter it. You want it to stay fairly firm when you dish it up, and it's just that quick and easy because we really cooked that flour in the first couple of minutes that we did it. It's time to dish this up. Wow. And I always like to just sprinkle a touch more pepper on top, just for color. Just barely coat it. And there you have it, chipped beef gravy on toast, or SOS as some of you nicknamed it out there. And I hope this is a great recipe for you guys. Serve it up to the kids, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I got to tell you, this stuff brings back a lot of memories. When I was a little kid, we ate this all the time. Pick yourself up a jar of this dried beef at the grocery store, get some whole milk, some toast, a little bit of salt and pepper, and I want to do a little update here. It's delicious, but you really don't need to salt the gravy because there's enough salt in this dried beef to give you the salt flavor that you need for the recipe. So if you want to just eliminate the salt completely and just put pepper in your gravy, you can do that as well. I hope this has been a great recipe for you and the kids. And if you really enjoy our recipes, subscribe to our channel. A little Shotgun Red's face will pop up over here. Once you subscribe, hit the little bell right next to it and highlight the all button and save it. That way you'll get all of our recipes. Over here, we're going to put up another recipe, but most of all, is this the best memory-creating chipped beef gravy on toast recipe you'll ever try? If it ain't, it ought to be, Ma. We'll see you next time right here on Cooking with Shotgun Red. Thanks a lot, Sheila, for all your help with that camera, girl. All right, bye-bye for now.